Hey guys, wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Vitus Nucleus VRX and kind of give you some more insight now that I've had some time with it for the last about a month of riding it. I gave it a wash yesterday, got all the dirt off of it, so it's pretty clean. So I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of an update on it. So overall, I would say I'm pretty happy with the bike. It's been pretty darn good. Haven't had any issues with it. Just added a couple things that I wanted to have on the bike that I found to be a necessity. So I added this nice little bag. It's pretty cool. It zips up on the side over here. Has lots of room, storage. So overall, I'm pretty happy. The tires, I actually removed the tubes the other day, or about a week and a half ago, and went tubeless. So just pulled the tubes right out. They realized that it was already taped. Added some Stan's no tube sealant, and pretty much no problems, except the rear tire for some reason's been losing air, and the front's been okay. The rear has been losing some air. I had to add air to it today. I've noticed it's been losing a couple pounds per day, so I'm not sure where the leak is in the tire. I suspect it might be a poor taping of the tape on the rims from the factory. So I might need to take off this tire and inspect it and try to figure out where it's coming from. Either that, or I might just need to add a lot more sealant to it. I don't know. But for right now, it's fine. I pumped it up and it was riding great. So let's talk about some of the things that I don't like. The grips. Not a huge fan of these grips. They're textured, and you see all this white stuff on there. It's from my gloves, but they're textured, but they're very, very thin. They're very, very thin, and I'm probably going to be replacing them. The knobs on them are very, very small. So if your hand gets wet, or you lose some grip because of sweat on your hand, you'll slide right off of these. That's my opinion on them. I mean, some people like them. They're lock-on grips, which are great. That's awesome, but I am probably going to be replacing them at some point here. They're good for now, but that's one of my main gripes I have, is the grips, and that's such a minor thing that I can't really complain too much. Wanted to also tell you that the front hub is actually boost. So boost meaning that the spokes come in it's got a wider hub in the front, so the spokes come in at a different angle, which actually provides a more strength. So they're 27.5 rims, but they probably have the strength of a 26, given that it has boost spacing. Other than that, everything's great on it. You know, I just was like looking at, I keep the clutch locked in the locked position for bumps and stuff, and it's been fine. It's been great. I haven't had any issues with the chain. People complain about the crank and the chain flying off. I'll tell you that has not been the case, because it's not a narrow wide. It's actually the Suntour zigzag pattern. People complain about it. I'm like, I haven't had the chain come off once, and I went down some pretty heavy stuff. Yeah, so overall, I really like it. I really like it. My other gripe with it is that the seat post is I'm going to get a dropper post, so it really doesn't matter too much. But look at how long the seat post is. Look at how long the seat post is. Like, what? It's so long, in fact, that the tube is not a straight shot. The tube has a little bit of an angle, so that right here is as far as it'll go down. It won't go down any further than that. So it's kind of strange to me that they give you such a long seat post, and I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'6", So you would think that, you know, I would want something that high, but I mean, even if it is this high up, I'm still only not even at minimum insertion. Minimum insertion on this is right there. I mean, this would be so high up. It's incredible. Nobody rides the bike with the seat post that high. Nobody. So yeah, when I get my dropper post, I think that this whole situation is going to go away. I was hoping to have an extra, you know, 2 or 3 inches here where I could push it down, so that when I'm doing manuals or I'm going down a hill, or, you know, any of that kind of stuff, I could have a little bit more room, and I don't. But I don't know if that's the case with just the extra large bike or what the deal is, but that's one of the longest seat posts I've ever seen. Yeah, other than that, it's been really good. The brakes are good. They feel good. My son's just playing around here. Hi, Reed.
I love you, babe.
You love my bike?
Yeah.
I like it too, bud. It's pretty fun.
I like these pedals.
You like the pedals? Yeah, they're a good color. Yeah, they're orange.
Orange.
Yeah, they're orange.
What?
Does Dad go fast on his bike or what? Hey, Reed, are you fast on your bike?
Yeah.
You're really fast, right?
Yeah. Let's go
He's still learning. He's got his training wheels on his bike right now. But we're going to get you a mountain bike, right? You're going to mountain bike with Dad?
Yeah, because I wanted one.
Yeah. So,
I want these blue feet.
yeah, hey, don't do that. Don't put your foot on there. Yeah, so overall, I would say the bike has been great. I like it a lot. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's hard to beat for the money, you know, when you look at the components that are on this bike, you know, 120 millimeter, you know, air fork. It's a good fork. It's a good budget fork. The rims are great. You know, they're tubeless ready. I have it running tubeless right now. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased. I haven't really had to mess with the fork too much either. Like, it's just dialed in. I think I have it at about 110 pounds, and it's just really dialed, you know. I would say it's kind of the bike's just taken a lot to get used to, in terms of like doing manuals and bunny hops and all of that stuff with finding the balance point. You know, for me, being a little older and not being on the bike all the time, for a very long time I haven't been on the bike. You know, it's just seeing the front's a little heavy. So just taking some getting used to, but that's just me, you know, that's just me and my inexperience with riding for a very long time, and then jumping into this bike and being like, whoa, you know, this bike to me is really big. I mean, I come from a 26er, so to me the bike's huge, and there's guys that love the 29ers, and I'm like, okay, but for me a 27.5 is like the best of both worlds, because it's not too big, so you could throw it around. You're gonna get better acceleration out of it. You know, the 29 has some advantages with rollover on you know, rocks and heavy stuff. But to me, I think a 27.5 is a middle option, and I don't regret going with a 27.5. I'm happy I didn't choose to go with a 29er. They don't make the VRX in a 29er, by the way, but I could have gone with the VRS and then changed some of the components out if I wanted to, and gone with a 29er that way. But I think the choice I made here is great. The Magic Mary tire in the front is fantastic. I like never lose grip with that thing. I get some kind of muddy trails, so I'm going through muddy trails and stuff. It's been great. Like, I really like the tire. I really like it. I don't know. The rear two I haven't had any issues with, but you know, the first contact point is really your front wheel, and the front wheel I haven't had any problems with the tire. I really like it. Very stiff. You know, very solid bike. It's very solid. Some people also argue about the welds, right? And they're like, oh, the welds are just showing, and the weld work is really good. Like, you could see the weld job that they did. It's really good. You can see the beading. It's really good weld. And, I'd rather have some really, really heavy looking welds and know that there's a lot of stability to the welds that were done than to have, a smooth finish and have maybe a weaker point on the frame itself. So the frame itself, I think it's great. I haven't, like I said, I haven't had it that long. I've only had the bike a month, but in my month that I've had it, I really enjoy it. There's a what? Cicada? Okay. All right, bud. Just stay away from them. I'm just trying to give you guys some more shots here of the bike. It's kind of a cloudy day here, so.
I don't like cicadas.
You don't like cicadas, huh?
No.
Yeah, I think the dropper post is the next upgrade. I also got some new shoes. I got some 510 Freeriders that I really, really like. I can't believe what a difference it's been coming from kind of like skateboard shoes to jumping into actual mountain cycling, cycling shoes. So if you guys have a chance, look at the 510 Freeriders. I think I got mine for about $100. I really, really like them. Also like these Fox gloves a lot. Use these every time I ride. Again, it's just, I don't have the most amount of confidence in these grips. For me, when it gets sweaty, your hand just slips off of these because it's so slick. There's not a lot of texture here to prevent your hand from sliding off. And I think my first week I wasn't wearing any gloves with it, and went to cover my back brake while I was doing a manual, and my hand slipped off and I looped out on the bike, which I wasn't too happy with. After that, I was like, okay, well, these grips are not going to be good for me. I might as well better make sure I have gloves on every time I ride this thing. So now I make sure I have gloves with me every time I go riding and up to sketchy stuff, So you just got to be careful a little bit, Give you some more shots of it. Yeah. All right. Well, I hopefully that gives you some more insight into the bike. Gives you a little bit more of a view of what everything looks like. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you another thing too. I wasn't too wild about the handlebars. They were like 780 millimeters wide. I just trimmed off 20. I used a hacksaw and just took off 20 millimeters. So I think I'm down to about 760 on these. It feels much more comfortable. When I was at 780, I felt like my hands were always migrating into this area right here, gripping. So now that I took off that little 20 mil, it's been much better for me. I think that's just a comfort thing, right? Somebody was gonna want to have real wide bars. I deal with a lot of trees that are kind of narrow, and the 780 just was freaking me out a little bit. So for me, going down to a 760, I believe, it just felt like a good comfort level. Real easy to cut through the bar. Wasn't hard at all. So, yeah.
I have a black thing right here.
Oh yeah, your valves. Yeah.
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 I have black one and blue one.
Yeah. All right. Say bye.